So hey, hi, is it? I'm back and I hope it is audible now. So there was some technical glitch in the mic that we were experimenting, however, it didn't work. I hope now I am visible and audible to all of you. Tell me what? Evening, good evening. Great, I am audible. Let's go ahead and let's straight away dive in deep in today's session. Fine. So, first of all, let's go ahead and let's list out what we are going to study. So the first thing that we are going to study here, one is class, fine, and objects. We have had an introduction in the last session of our Python class of class and objects, but we'll understand it today in a detailed manner. We'll know how to create classes, how to create objects. Then we'll go ahead, we'll learn about objects, fine, and their methods. And once we are done with this, we'll learn about inheritance and then polymorphism. Now if we find time, if we get time, we'll go and we'll study lambda function. Otherwise we'll study it in the next class. It is a very small function. A lot of people sometimes make it a very big function. It is not a big function, honestly. Fine, so we'll somehow manage it, don't worry. So hi Bhimesh, hi Shashank. What's the topic today? I've listed it out. Hi Kisna. So Kisna has shown immense love to us, thank you so much. Fine. And let me tell you one very interesting fact about Kisna. So this guy is a video editor in our team, and this guy is a very senior video editor, and he's one of the best in his skills, but he's one of those guys who keeps spamming his friends, and that's why he's here. And that's what I enjoy in our organization the most. We have a camaraderie unmatched, we have a brotherhood unparalleled, and that's what I would always tell my students that you should build and you should go ahead. So thank you for coming, Kisna. Fine. So that's not his real name, of course, and I'll not put it out. So hi everybody. So let's go ahead and let's understand about the objects, about the classes, and I'll go ahead and I'll explain about both. Fine. So I'll pick up my laptop and chalo ji. We are here, back. Fine. Straight away diving in deep. Let's write out a class. So what class should I write? Hi demo channel, hi. So what exactly we should write? Shashank, fine, or what class? I'll go ahead with the basic classes so that you can get a better sense of understanding. So class person I am declaring, and this is a very basic thing. That's how you declare a class. A general convention is that when you declare a class, you actually keep the first letter as capital letter. I have told you that classes define how the object will look like. Fine, so that's what a class does. ये कितने time का session है? Shiv, it is primarily of what, 40 minutes I guess. You want me to zoom in? Yeah, it is already a lot zoomed in. It is clearly visible. I can have that feed on my side as well, don't worry. Bhimesh, I hope it is visible. Yeah, how much should I zoom it? This would look like this if I zoom it. Class person is clearly visible. Fine. Now let's go ahead, let's write some function in it. First of all, when you write any class, you have this init function in Python. What is this init function? I'll explain about this. Wait, you have this self in it, and then you can put any parameter like name or age. Fine. So now what is this init function? I'll go back to the PPT and I'll explain you here. Fine. So this init function is also called constructor. Fine, this is also called a constructor. Whenever any instance of the class is created, it is the first process or method that executes. Okay, So this is constructor. Constructor is a very important concept. You should go ahead and you should study it in detail if you want to. Otherwise, this much is enough. If somebody asks you what is a constructor, you can go ahead, tell it that if any instance of class is created, it is the first method that executes. Fine. Now, you have something called as default constructor, where you have just the self parameter that I had written. So basically you define this like this: define init, then you have self. If you write just the self, it is default constructor. If you write some parameter like this, these are two parameters, name and age. Fine. So these are parameters. So this is a parameterized constructor. Fine. But what is this self? This is a keyword used to refer to the instances of a class. Fine. Now when I want to put any particular name, I want to store any name in this name. Fine. In this I want to store a name of a person. Fine. What I'll have to do is I'll have to write like this: self dot name equals to, either I put a name here. Fine. I'll put like this. So self dot name, the name attribute of this particular method would be assigned the value that this particular name variable has. Fine. So it would be assigned here. Now to actually refer to this name instance, this instance of this particular constructor, you use this self keyword. Fine. This self keyword would tell you that any particular thing that is being used after this dot, fine, is actually an instance of the class in which it is declared. Fine. Is it clear? ये सबको समझ में आया? फटाफट बताओ. Exactly, init for initialization, but it is a constructor. Fine. So I'll go ahead, I'll change the tab. See. चलो जी आगे बढ़ते हैं इस पे. ठीक है. self dot name, fine, equals to name. Then I'll say self dot age equals to age, and now once I have done this, my class has been declared. That's it. That's all I need to do. Now what if I want to create an object to this? How do I do this? So I basically write p1, which is my object, and I do it like this. So person is what I have at my end, and here in person I'll write the name. For example, I'll write, whose name should I write today? Let's write fine, let's write today some random name. I had seen some name like this which was interesting. Fine. So let me check. Okay, demo channel. Fine. We'll go ahead with this name. Fine. So demo channel is the name that I'll put. And the age, what should be the age? Let's say age is 33. Fine. So let's put this age. And let's now, once I have done this, I print p1 dot name. So I have name as demo channel. Fine. Then I print p1 dot say age. Now I should get both the outputs. Let's check. So it's saying demo channel person takes no arguments. Okay, class person is taking no arguments here. Fine. So when it is taking no arguments, it is clearly shown that it takes no argument, and henceforth it is not giving us the correct value. Fine. Is it that no, so it's not giving us the correct value in this case. However, it should. There is some glitch in this particular compiler. Wait for a while. Fine, I'll try it, because we keep on experimenting with the backend of the compiler and henceforth. See, that's what is there. So sometimes you have one dash in some compilers which equivalates to two particular hyphens or two underscores, and somewhere you have to specifically mention. I'll need to talk to developers that we can make it a single hyphen if I press the underscore. Fine. So generally that's what you should try, and that's why I am running it on an online compiler, because when you appear in your actual test, you'll have such glitches. Fine. So if it doesn't pick from one underscore, put two. Fine. A lot of compilers from one underscore only, if you write one underscore with init, they automatically put the long dash, for example in PyCharm. Fine. In this particular online compiler, if there is some test compiler as well, better to put 2 underscores and see the output. Now you see the output is running. Fine. Person is taking arguments. Fine. With this particular constructor, you created a class person whose object was p1. You created the name. Exactly, Vijay, that's the glitch. Fine. So you have demo channel, you have age, you have name, you have age printed here. I hope this much is clear. Easy peasy. Fine. Easy है ना ये सब? फटाफट बता दो in chat section. This is very easy thing. I hope this is very easy for you. Now what if I want to define object methods? What if I want to do that? How will we go ahead with this? So we'll go ahead, we'll write class person. Fine. So person is already written. I can use that class only. I'm a very lazy man. Rather, I'll show you object methods in this only. I can go ahead and write a method here itself. So I'll say define another, rather, wait a minute. Perfect indentation, I guess. It looks fine to me. Let's see whether the indentation is perfect or not. So what should be there? My func. Fine, that would work. And here also I'll put self. Why am I putting self? So that I can use the instances of this class in this my func. Fine, and I'll print hello everybody, my name is, and then we put a colon. Now with plus or with comma, whatever you like. Fine, you can go ahead and write things out. So I'll use plus self dot name I'll use. Fine. So with this, let's see whether we can use this function or not. And then again I'll use p1 dot my func. Fine. I hope that's pretty much. Now if you do not want to pass any parameter to this function, you can use just the self. Fine, like I have used. And we should get demo channel again written here. Let's see. See, hello everybody, my name is demo channel. It is coming now. Is it easy? Fine. Is it easy peasy? Is it easy peasy? फटाफट बताओ. Tell me in the chat section यार. Everybody. Great. चलो जी. So what else we can do here? I can use another statement here. Fine. Print. Fine. And then I'll write that, for example, self dot name plus, what should I write? I am trying to be a fit person. Fine. Let's go ahead and let's see whether this runs or not. Correct. Demo channel, I am trying to be a fit person. This also works. Fine. Or if I remove this I am and I write is, this would still work. Fine. So that's pretty much about it. So that's how you use the methods. That's how you declare the methods or the functions inside the class. Is it clear to everybody? Is it easy? फटाफट बताओ, सबको समझ में आया? Is it clear by far? I can look at your chats now. I hope this is easy for everybody. Fine. And I have told you about the self parameter as well. And now one very interesting thing now I will tell you. Let me tell you one interesting thing. For example, this self, I can rename it to Bhimesh and it would still work. See, I renamed it to Bhimesh. Everywhere I would rename it to Bhimesh. Fine. And let's see whether it works. Here also I'll rename it. Let's check. See, it is still working. It is still absolutely working fine. Why is it working? The reason is the self keyword that we were using is not a keyword itself. It is just a convention. However, whatever word is written on the first place in an init function becomes a keyword to refer to the instances of class. Therefore, that self was being used here. Henceforth, what I can tell you is this self this keyword, this self can be named anything. Fine. However, it is a general convention that we use and that every programmer generally in Python uses, that you do not need any kind of other keyword and we use self. Fine. So if somebody is willing to put his name, happily put it. Fine. So I'll change it back to self so that we can work comfortably. So self is just a variable. Self is just a name that you're giving to the initializing keyword which is used to refer to the instances of any of this class. Fine. So whatever name or whatever you're writing here is actually being used to refer to the instance of the class, and that's why self is a general keyword that is being used. Fine. So it's better to use self. I'll tell you that. Fine. It's better to use self because a lot of times it is a standard practice. So if you get any code or a pseudo code written, self would be the convention that would be used. Fine. Is it clear so far? Self सबको समझ में आया? फटाफट बताओ. Everybody clear with self? Now, if I want to delete this particular object, then del p1 I'll do and I'll run the code and it would be deleted. If post that I try using this would not work. This would throw some error. See, it is throwing the error in the line 15. It is the line 15 error is p1 is not defined because I have deleted p1. You see it? Is deletion of object clear to everybody? Is deletion of object clear to everybody? I'll however remove this so that our object doesn't get erased. Fine. Object methods have been done. Let's go ahead to inheritance. And to a lot of students of mine, I have not given the notes of the earlier class. There's a reason to it because it had just introduction of object which was not looking good to me, honestly. So I'll share a merged file of today's class and of previous class so that it makes sense to you. I would have easily given those notes to you. I have them with myself. However, I have not given just because half of the class would be there and half would be here, which would not make any sense. So class 5 and class 6 would be given to you in a combined manner. Fine. Now let's understand about inheritance. What is inheritance? For example, your father has a lot of property and he's a great wealthy man. Then the property that you're going to get in his will is inheritance, right? But in computer science, it's not like that. It is about inheriting the properties of the parent class, just like you inherit the properties of your parents. For example, somebody's father is tall, somebody's mother is tall. The child is generally tall. He inherits the height from the parents. Fine. For example, my parents have a strange problem of myopia. Fine. So I have inherited that problem from them and myopia appeared to me as well. Fine. A lot of doctors say this. If diabetes is there in your house, it runs in your previous ancestors, it would come to you, correct? So that is also inheritance. Inheritance is basically inheriting the properties of the parent class to the child class. Fine, that's it. इसके अलावा इसमें दुनिया की कोई definition नहीं. Fine, it is the only definition, easy definition that you have to put out in front of anybody who's going to ask you out. Now, for example, let's go ahead and let's say this person that I have just declared is my parent class. Fine, I'll create a child class. I'm creating a child class here. This is my parent class. Okay, now I'll create some child class. Let's create a class named not child, what should be there? Let's create some employee class which is being inherited from person. Fine. So now this class is actually a child class. Now if you don't want to write anything in it, you can just simply write pass and it would create your employee class. It would not show any particular problem. It would not show any of the particular things here. It would just create this class and you can pass it on without any constructor, without anything. You can simply write it off. If you're not putting out any method or if you're not using any of the attributes, that has not 0 0, you can write pass. So if you are not using any of the attributes of the parent class, you can simply write it in this manner. Is it clear so far? Is it clear so far? बताओ फटाफट. For example, if I create x equals to employee, and what if I pass some name to him? Fine. What should I type? What name should I type? Go ahead, tell me. I'll write Ansh. Fine. And what should I type next? Ansh Gupta. Fine, that would work. Fine. But this is the name that I want to pass now, so I don't want to pass. For example, I had self f name and I'll have l name as well. Fine, last name here. So I want to pass both the names, f name, and then I want to pass self dot l name. Fine. Okay. Now what if I do one thing? Demo channel, and then what? Student last name. Fine, that would work. P1 dot f name and P1 dot l name. Fine. I'm just tweaking a few things here and there. Fine, and here also I'll self dot f name plus self dot l name. I'm just tweaking a few things here and there. Okay, what else is left? So is there any, okay, fine. Is there any syntax error? Really? What kind of syntax error are we having? We have been giving it correctly, no? F name, L name, I have everything correctly. What else do you need from me? P1 is equal to person. Putting it correctly, I hope. Because I put the first name, F name, I put the L name. There's no issue in it. Then where's the issue? Can you guys identify this issue? Maybe I am not identifying the issue correctly. Let's go ahead, let's change this to first name and last name, because this is the instance that I can change. However, it shouldn't throw the error due to this. It would still throw the error, right? And it should not do this. However, fine, if it is doing so, I'll just put it like this. I'll just put name to it, and then later on we'll sort this out somewhere. However, still I can't figure out what exactly. Oh, I see what exactly is going out wrong. Wait, I have not put a comma here. Fine. So such things happen, and every time they happen with lazy man like me. Fine. L name and age. So go ahead. First name to F name. So whatever you get in F name, you assign it here. Whatever you get in self dot L name. I'm not going to write these full sentences. I'm a very lazy man. I don't like writing these full sentences. Fine. So I hope now it should work. Now what's the issue? Okay. So I'm not passing out the age and other factors to it. Fine. I'm passing out other. Ansh Gupta. What else? Studia or student. I'll pass. Fine. And age I'll pass 34. Fine. Let's go ahead. See? Demo student 33. Hello everybody, my name is demo student. So it is working, correct? But if I go ahead and I print this particular X, fine. If I try printing out this particular X, what would happen here? Tell me. What would happen if I print this X out? फटाफट बताओ. What if I try printing out X? What would happen? What would I get? Or can I access any of this function? For example, I have defined this my function. Fine, I have used it. Can I use this? For example, can I use this x dot my func? Can I use this? Tell me in the chat section. Tell me, can I use this? If you see in employee, I have written nothing, absolutely nothing. Fine. Can I use this x dot myfunc? Okay. So Vasu is saying yes. चलो वासु की बात मान के देखते हैं. Yes, Vasu is right. We can use it. Why we can use it? Because it has inherited this method from this particular person class. No, demo channel, you're wrong here. We can use this my function. It is basic inheritance. No, it is basic inheritance. It has inherited it. Fine. So that's how inheritance works in Python. Fine. Now you can go ahead, you can use multiple inheritances where you have multiple classes with this person. For example, if I declare one more class, let's check it out. Fine. You now get it. Great. Fine. And I'll create another class like this, and I'll go ahead, I'll write this class here, not same as class person. I'll rename it. For example, I'll say class age finder. Fine, just age finder, not any other particular attribute. And here I'll remove the age. Fine, here I'll remove it. I don't want age here. I'll not give age with this anywhere. That's pretty much fine. And what I'll do is here I will just use the age. I'll use this my function too, where my age would be printed. Fine, my age is self dot age, because after this you're going to get some kind of homework. Fine, so I'll give you that as well, don't worry. But here you have these two classes, and with person I'll go ahead and I'll write age finder. Fine. Now what if I run it? See, p1.age, this is not running. I don't want it anymore, so I'll run code. If you see, age finder is not defined. Fine. Here in employee class it is saying age finder is not defined. Why? This f is capital. Let's make it small and then check. Now if you see, this class employee is throwing error because it is getting this particular attribute which it should not. Fine, which here it should not. If you're giving attributes to this class, let's check what kind of attributes is it inheriting. Now it is working fine. Fine, my func is being used. But what if I used x dot, say I used my func 2. Fine, what if I used this? Then let's see, it won't work like this. Fine, you see, it isn't working like this because employee object has no particular age. Employee has no attribute as age. Why it is not having any attribute as age? The reason is here it is not getting any attribute as age. Let's check it again. So you see, it has no attribute as age. Had it been getting that, fine, so it inherits from this particular class. It also inherits functions from this particular class. It also inherits from here. But this problem often happens with Python 3.8 that we are seeing here, that when you go ahead and when you declare some kind of, for example, I say this kind of attribute, and here you do not pass any kind of attribute, you'll have such problems. Fine, you'll have such problems because employee gets confused which class to pick up, which constructor to pick up. It is picking up this constructor. You see why this error is coming? Understand this error. It is because it is picking up this constructor. It doesn't know which constructor should I pick up. If I resolve this attribute thing, what if I resolve this? Fine, what if I resolve this and I simply write my age is 34, simply a basic plain text. Will it work now? Let's check. Okay, so there is some indentation problem. Fine, so I just define the basic of it. This would not be defined, however, with such class. See, fine. So it is automatically picking up default constructor here, and then it is printing out, hello everybody, my age is 34. Correct? Why that constructor? I'll tell you. This is not a constructor here. Now it is using the default init. When you do not write it, it uses the default init, which requires no parameter. Fine. Now what we have written is not a constructor, it is a method that is being used here. Fine. Now the method that I'm using here is being inherited by this class. Now why isn't it throwing error? अब क्यों नहीं error throw कर रहा? The reason is it is picking up the constructor of this particular class. You cannot have two constructors in one class. Fine. When you inherit something here, you cannot have two constructors. It is picking up the constructor of this particular class because this is first in the order. Had I written age finder earlier and had I done the same thing, it would have picked the particular characters of age finder. Is it clear to you? Had it been using age finder, for example, had I written age finder here, age finder, fine, and had I used here person, what I just showed you was multiple inheritance. Fine. What if I do this? Fine. See, I'll show you one very interesting thing. What if I write it like this? Not all this, you don't need all this. Fine. So I'll go ahead, I'll define this with age, just the age. I'll go ahead, I'll define this age parameter, and here in my function 2, I'll put out the age as self dot age. Fine. Now when I do this, if you see carefully, here I can pass like this. For example, 34, Ansh Gupta, student. If I pass these two parameters, now it will throw an error. Fine. Now it will throw an error. Why it will throw an error? The reason is it would pick up this particular constructor. It would not find what to do with them. It would not find what to do with them. Fine. I'll show you what I'm saying. See. Let's see. You see, Ansh Gupta, student. Init takes two positional arguments but were given 4. यहाँ पे 4 arguments हमें दिए गए हैं. It is clearly saying it. Why? Because there are 2 arguments here. You see? You see this? Always, whatever in multiple inheritance, whatever you write first of that class, constructor would be picked up. Constructor of this class is being picked up. For example, if I remove these two now and I just try printing out the age, it would simply print out. Fine. Okay, so it's saying, okay, not int. Fine. Wait. So self age is, now it would print out. It is not integer type. I can just print it out like this. Fine. Now you see it is throwing an error in my function. Here it is throwing an error. Why? It is saying I don't have f name and l name. Employee object has no attribute f name. Why isn't it having this attribute? The reason is it is not picking up this constructor. This constructor is not being picked up. Why? Because when you see this particular age finder class written first, it picks up the constructor of this class, and there can't be two particular constructors for one class. This class is employee. You cannot have two constructors. For example, you cannot have the constructor of age finder as well as the constructor of person. Is it clear to everybody? समझ में आई ये बात या दोबारा समझाऊं? मुश्किल है ये बात, इसीलिए बार बार पूछ रहा हूं. Is it clear so far? फटाफट बताओ. Tell me in the chat section. Is it clear? If it is clear, I'll go ahead. If it is not, I'll explain it again. फटाफट बताओ. बताओ यार फटाफट. This is inheritance primarily. Inheritance is finished. Great. So it is clear. We'll move forward. Fine. Now I'll remove all this, whatever I have written, and I'll go to polymorphism. Fine. What is polymorphism? Let's try and understand that. Fine. Hashtag polymorphism. मॉर्फिज्म, अंडरस्टैंड इट इन अ वे। सर मतलब दोनों प्रिंट नहीं करवा सकते एक साथ? दोनों प्रिंट कराने के लिए यार कंस्ट्रक्टर्स दो मत बनाना, मैंने प्रिंट कराए थे ना। If you carefully see this class's recording na, you will find I had printed out both, but I used my function too. I did not declare any init function in the age finder class when I successfully executed. Fine. You need not to have two constructors if you're doing multiple inheritance. Fine. If you're doing multiple inheritance, you need to ignore the constructor of one particular class. There are other methods to it as well, and that's your homework. That's why I was telling you a homework is coming your way. There are other methods to ignore the constructor of a particular class. You have to check them out. Is it clear? Fine, go ahead. Now I'll simply explain you one more important thing, which is polymorphism. Very, very important concept, and you should understand it with this word only. Fine. Poly is many. Fine. Morph is forms. So when you use a function, in many forms, not just function, I should also write operator. Fine. So when you use any function or operator in many forms, it is called polymorphism. Fine. Now there are primarily three polymorphism. अब ये interview bit है, everybody note it down. Thank you so much demo channel that I have a beautiful handwriting. That's a new insight for me. So far I have been scolded a lot for my handwriting. Fine. And I still believe I have a bad one, but fine, if you like it. Go ahead, let's go to the interview bit. Everybody pick up a paper, pick up a pen. If you're not having it, pick up your phone notes and note it down. It is very, very important. Polymorphism is primarily of three types that you have to explain in interview. One is function or method overloading. Fine. One is method overriding or function overriding. Fine. Function overriding is a very simple process. You can go ahead, read it out. It is not asked often. Function overloading is often asked. I'll explain you that. Fine. And operator overloading. So operator overloading and function overloading are almost similar. If any operator, for example, if plus is being used to add, and the same plus can be used to concatenate. Fine. Concatenate two strings. This is an example of operator overloading. Fine. Function overloading. What is the function overloading? If I have, say, if I have a function named func, fine, and in this I have attribute 1, fine, and I have attribute 2, then function, again I can write and declare somewhere function, and I can write it like this. For example, attribute 1, attribute 2, and attribute 3. So when I'll pass three attributes, when I'll write like this, func, say 20 and 30, this would be invoked. When I write function 30, 40, 50, this function would be invoked. Fine. So by changing number of attributes, or say I wrote again a function where all these were integer type and I have attribute 1, attribute 2, but this time this attribute 2 is of string type. Fine, this is of string type. So by changing number of attributes or by changing type of attributes, fine, type of attributes. So for example, this particular function would be invoked when I write function 30 comma, say here I would write what should I write, webhub. Fine, that would work. So that would be function overloading. Is function overloading, स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो इसका, इस स्क्रीन का ना स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो. आई गेस यहाँ पे concatenate लिखा नहीं आ रहा है ड्यू टू माई head, fine, my broad head, I'll write it above, don't worry, add tak to likha aa raha hai na, fine, add tak rakh lo, I'll write it above. So here I'll go, fine, plus is also used for concatenation, fine, so plus is used for addition, plus is used for concatenation, this is operator overloading, fine, ये लो, ठीक है, स्क्रीनशॉट लो इसका, फटाफट स्क्रीनशॉट लो, दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, टिल देन आई हैव डाउट. We can have functions of same name by changing number and type of attributes. Correct, correct, that's what I have written. Fine, I hope it's clear. Chalo ji. Now I have told you what is polymorphism. Now I am very happy because I'll show you how polymorphism works in Python. It works in a different sense. What I just told you won't be exactly replicated here, it would work in a different way. I'll show you. Fine, for example, I'll say x equals to, I'll show you some function, x equals to, say I'll write hello world. Fine, I guess x is a variable that I have used above. No, I have not. Hello world. Fine, and then I'll say print length of x. Fine, so it would print the number of characters in the string. But what if I declare, say, my tuple, and here I declare a tuple which has some random car names, for example BMW, I have what else, Land Rover, fine, what else can we have, what car, fine, 2 cars are enough, or one more, fine, I'll write what, Ford, fine. So when I do print length of x, how is the polymorphism working in Python? See, here length function delivers number of characters in a string, whereas here length function delivers number of elements in a tuple. Fine, let's check it out what it is giving. So here it should give us 3 and here it should give us the number of characters in hello world. Let's check. See, both are 11 and 11. Fine, so why is it? Because I have used length x, I have to use my tuple to get the length of my tuple. Fine, so 3. Fine, is it clear? Correct, correct, everybody pointed it out correctly. Fine, is it clear everybody? This same function is behaving differently. Whenever the same function behaves in multiple forms, it is called polymorphism. Poly, many, morph, forms. Now is it clear? अब सबको समझ में आया है? Is it easy? Now let me tell you, all of you by today know that much Python and that much object oriented programming that you can clear a placement interview. Fine, I'm not talking about data structures, I'm not talking about problem solving, I'm talking about the basics of language and the object oriented programming. You know, by the date of today, with this second, you know that much, that you can clear any placement round if it is asking object oriented programming. A few concepts are your homework which you should study, which are, I'll write it out here, fine, which are abstraction. Nobody will tell you to implement it out of say 100 times, one time you will be said to implement it. Fine, so in abstraction, encapsulation and data hiding, you have to go ahead and study the definitions. If you don't find it, you can tell me in the next class, I'll deliver you these definitions. However, all of you have the access to internet, you have access to ChatGPT, you can go ahead, search these topics out. Very easy topics, very rarely asked in interviews, they are just asked for the definitions, and that's why I'm telling you, you can go ahead and read the definitions for the same. Fine, let's go ahead here. So I have told you, this is one way polymorphism works. For example, had I been using a dictionary na, so it would have given me a key value pair here, the same length function. Now there is something called as class polymorphism. Fine, now there is one more homework. You have to go ahead and create a class called scooters. Fine, and you have to, rather, class two-wheelers you will create, and you will create 2 child classes. One is scooter, one is bikes. Fine, that's your homework. Now, is there any doubt? No. Fine, So let's go ahead, let's check out some basic class polymorphism. So I'll declare a class. What class should I take? Fine, vehicle ही ले लेते हैं. Fine. So I'll take a class called vehicle or a class called car. car लेके देखते हैं ना. car भी क्यों? class called bike. Fine. Everybody, you'll get some idea from here, but do not exactly copy paste this. Fine. Try making something of your own. Not init, it is init. Fine. So I'll say self, what else? Brand would be enough. इससे ज़्यादा मुझे कुछ नहीं जानना. Fine. So self brand, and then I'll write self dot brand equals to brand name. That's enough. And then what should I write? Let's create a function called as define, and then I'll create a function called as move. Fine. And it takes no attribute except for self, and it simply prints, say, what should it say? Drive. Say it says drive. Fine. You drive a class. Fine. Then I go ahead, I declare another class. Fine. And this time I'm using a new class called, say, boat. Fine. Boat would work because we can write a different scenario for it. So diff, then underscore underscore init underscore underscore, I'll say self, and then brand, and then I'll say go ahead, store the brand of a boat, self dot brand equals to brand. What else do we need to do? So I should write again define move, not oov, I need move, and I'll go ahead, I'll take self, and then I'll write something called as print. It's not print, it's print. Fine. So I'll write print, and then I'll write sale. Fine. I'll write this out. So I'll comment the above code. I do not need the above code. Fine. Chalo ji. Everything is commented out above. So now when I declare two different objects, fine, of both types, say I declare some C1 for a car, I give it a brand name, say Tata. Fine. What if I give it Tata, and then I'll go ahead, I'll create a boat object, I'll say boat, and the brand name is Adani. Fine. And we print it out. So I'll print b1 dot, so for this I'll use b1 dot move, correct? b1 dot move, and then we'll use c1 dot move. Fine. I should rather write c1 dot move first so that it is in the same order, just for the sake of being in the same order. Now both use move function. It should give me drive, this should give me sale. Let's check what do we have. Fine. Run code, and it is saying it is an issue. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm using car. Oh shit, car was in my mind. I had a bike here. Let's go ahead, do it with bike. Run code. See, drive and sale. Is it clear? Is it clear to everybody? Tell me. Tell me. फटाफट बताओ. फटाफट बताओ. Tell me. Is it clear to everybody? Is it easy peasy? This is polymorphism. This is just polymorphism. Fine. Now, if I do inheritance class polymorphism, fine. Here only I'll implement inheritance class polymorphism. And let's for a while think that this class boat actually inherits the class bike. Fine. It inherits the class bike, and the bike has move function, which is saying drive. Fine. It is saying drive, boat should say sail. I want it to print out in a manner. Now boat has inherited the bike, so it has this move as well. Fine. Now it should Actually, this is also an example of function overriding as well to a certain extent. Fine, because it has inherited a function which says drive, and now we are overriding it with this instance of a function. So this is also an example of function overriding. Is it clear to everybody? Is it clear to everybody? Fatafat batao. Now what if I do this? I remove all this, I create a loop. Everybody is well aware of loops. If you are not, go ahead, watch the previous classes. For x in, say, this range. Fine, I'll rather create objects. Fine, that would give me a better range. So for bike, I'll create b1. Fine, I'll create an object b1 for bike. b1 equals to what? Bike, and I'll put some random brand here, Royal Enfield. Fine, Enfield. And for boats, I'll create b2. Fine, so this would be boat object. Fine, and I would create some Ambani boat this time. For x in b1 comma b2, these two objects, what it has to do is it has to do x dot move. Fine, so for b1 it should work differently, for b2 it should work differently. Let's check it out. Run code. It is giving me drive and sail, correct? Let's change this out. Drive की जगह chalo Goa. Fine, and for boat I am saying chalo Vizag. Now I should have these as my outputs. Run code. See, chalo Goa, chalo Vizag. So this is inheritance class polymorphism. Fine. In the next class, this is the polymorphism. We have covered polymorphism, we have covered inheritance. Basically, we've covered the object-oriented programming that is required for your placements. Abstraction, encapsulation, and data hiding, these are just definitions and very small parts. You can go ahead and check it out yourself. If you don't still find it, you can come to me in next class. I'll deliver you that. Fine. Now, if you're looking for a structured preparation, I've told you enough times. You can go ahead on prepinstaprime.com, and here you can go ahead and explore the DSA or the company specific courses, whatever you need. This is your favorite OTT to learn. If you want to learn Python in an advanced manner, this is the pre-recorded course. You can go ahead, check this out. And all these 200 plus courses are available in one subscription here. So you simply click on this subscription and you simply put out Shukla 10, the code, and you'll go ahead and get a discount. This code is floating, and there is a Telegram link that is floating to my community. There you can join it out. Otherwise, go ahead, you can join me on my Instagram. Fine, @Shuklaji Speaks is my handle. CSM team, please put out that link to my Instagram account. Whoever is moderating this live, please put out the link to my Instagram account. So students, you'll find that Instagram. What can actually help you there? I'll tell you. See. So I'll open this up and I'll go back to the first slide. So this is my Instagram handle. It is available in the chats now. You can check it out. See, if you go to this particular handle, you can directly ask queries to me and I directly manage it. Fine. So I can directly help you out. Along with that, if you have guts, go ahead, simply type challenge, DM challenge to me, and I'll throw a challenge to you. If you solve it in stipulated time, I'll personally give you an extra coupon code for Prep Insta Prime. Along with that, there is something more interesting that is going on for you. I'll show that out, which is this operation placement. Fine. So this operation placement is a 2.5 months online live training. Here people would be teaching you 80 plus hours, and that's of live class, no recorded session in these live classes. Post these live classes have happened, then you'll have the recordings of these classes. Fine. So for example, if I take live class today, you'll have a recording of that by the end of that class or by tomorrow. Fine, in that manner. But here you'll have live learning. People here are expected to show the commando-like dedication so that they can study for their placements. This is specifically targeted towards placement. 200 plus hours of self-paced courses, 2000 plus company-specific question, exam coding compiler, 10,000 PYQs, alumni network, resume building with Gen AI, and whatnot. And this is your early bird offer. You can go ahead and avail it out. And this is, I'll sign in with Google if it is possible. Fine. So let's see. I'll show you the complete navigation. I'll navigate this free to you. Fine. So that's how you go ahead, and this is your journey. So you'll fill the form and complete the payment. You'll get access to LMS. You'll have live classes and 200 plus hours of self-paced content. Then you'll have the tech and HR interviews. You'll solve placement question papers, previous year papers, and you'll have placement drills. You'll have a proper tech and HR interview preparation. So basically you'll be 100% interview ready. And for interviews, let me tell you, this is the whole syllabus. You can go ahead and check this syllabus out. Let me zoom it out a bit. You can check this whole syllabus out. You can see the reviews, but basically these will be the faculties, and the interview preparation portion that would be actually handled by me. So far it is the plan. Fine. So that's basically the fees of the program. If you want to connect in this program, all you need to do is you can simply come here, fine, on this particular Instagram handle, fine, and on my or you can simply go to Prep Insta Instagram handle. That is also one way. Or you can come at my Instagram handle @Shuklaji Speaks. You DM here op placement, fine. You DM this, your name and your mobile number. You DM this to me, and I'll make sure that my team of mentors reaches out to you, helps you out. Fine. So that's pretty much about it, and I'll wrap this session up, and that's, I hope, is enough for you. Have a wonderful day ahead, and as I always say, keep spreading goodness to people who need it, so that this goodness can go ahead, and whatever you feel that was wrong here, you can simply tell me out in the chat sections whenever you feel. If you feel that it was good, subscribe to this channel, like this particular live, fine, and keep consistently studying. Keep spreading the goodness in the universe. Universe will deliver you much more in the terms of goodness. Fine. Have a wonderful day ahead. I'm wrapping this up and I'm going home. Bye bye.